So hello guys, welcome to a new video of politics.
I think I'll start with open the effing straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. And then at the end, maybe throw in praise be to Allah.
Today, the United States held peace negotiations with Iran, but then just an hour ago, President Trump posted, if Iran doesn't agree to peace, the greatest military of all time, ours, will F Iran right up their Strait of Hormuz. Assalamu alaikum, you crazy.
It kicked off like any regular comedy night, the kind where you expect a few harmless laughs and maybe a couple safe jokes, but somehow it flipped into a full-blown televised roast so brutal it felt like it could cut a campaign speech in half while it was still being delivered. 1 second, it was just normal sketches, and the next it was like the writer suddenly found some hidden cheat code for fearless chaos that nobody in the building was prepared for. The makeup looked way too real to be innocent, the delivery felt almost personal, and every punchline hit like it had been sitting in the chamber all week just waiting for permission to fire. Whatever happened on that stage was not just comedy anymore. It was revenge served with a laugh track and wrapped up like entertainment.
If you remember, but I flipped my car and got a DUI.
Oh, right, a Dewey. As in, do we drive on pills? Yes, he do.
That's a good one, Mr. President.
You should have told the cops we were friends. They would have let you off.
Well, I did, and they didn't.
If only there was something
In his speech, President Trump referred to the war in Iran as a little journey, because little journeys are all anyone can afford to take now.
And if you are enjoying this breakdown so far, hit subscribe, because it genuinely helps the channel more than most people realize. Now, the wild part is the Oval Office did not even feel like the command center of the free world anymore. It felt more like a late-night customer service hotline, where every call somehow spiraled into a full meltdown, except with a presidential seal slapped on it like a stamp of approval. The phones just kept ringing nonstop. The vibe stayed weirdly confident, and Logit basically packed its bags and went on vacation without leaving a forwarding address.
Don't worry about that, Caroline. Like I said to Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem right before I fired them, you're doing a terrific job.
Thank you, sir. I love you too.
All three of those were played by Ashley. It's an interesting detail.
Right in the middle of all that madness, Cullen Jost and Michael Chi started slicing through the whole circus like two guys who realized the script had already completely lost control, so they might as well crank it up and take it all the way into pure ridiculousness.
President Trump did genuinely issue a post threatening to destroy Iran's entire civilization and then ended with the phrase, praise be to Allah. And I know that almost makes Trump sound like he is a radical terrorist, but remember, Trump has already been to a paradise with 72 virgins.
President Trump said in his speech that the Strait of Hormuz would open up naturally, but if it doesn't, the Marines will deploy a little bit of spit.
And it all really kicked off with a conversation that sounded less like a serious policy moment and more like a group chat brainstorming the worst possible social media post anyone could ever publish. President was pacing back and forth, tossing out ideas that did not sound like a strategy at all, but more like someone experimenting with how many shocked reactions they could squeeze out of a single sentence.
Now, there are a lot of important things happening in the world right now, and I have to make some urgent phone calls.
Hello?
Tiger, it's Donald. What's going on, buddy? Are you playing in the Masters this weekend?
Meanwhile, the press secretary just stood there taking it all in, nodding with that exact expression people get when they honestly cannot tell if they are watching pure genius or witnessing a slow-motion train wreck. There was talk about needing the right tone, except the tone kept bouncing between aggressive confidence and random sarcastic jabs about religion, like subtlety had officially been banned from the room entirely. Josh jumped right on that opening like he had been waiting all week for it, pointing out how the so-called praise for the press secretary was coded in that sneaky, backhanded kind of humor that only works if you casually mention firing previous versions of the same job like they were old phone. Upgrades, nobody wanted anymore. And the punchline did not just hit and move on, it hit, unpacked its suitcase, pulled up a chair, and acted like it lived there.
You think I should type praise be to Allah, and that's from you, the President of the United States?
Yes, Allah. They say Allah. It's a sarcastic attack on the world's largest religion. They famously have a great sense of humor about that kind of stuff.
As your press secretary, this puts me in a tough position.
And before anyone even had time to breathe, Another call came in, and suddenly the Oval Office turned into the strangest sports hotline you have ever seen. Trump reached out to Tiger Woods, but not with some polished official tone like you would expect from a president, more like someone casually checking on a buddy, while still making sure everyone remembered this was supposed to be a major moment. The conversation swerved through the Masters, slid into the uncomfortable territory of recent personal drama, and then casually dropped a rehab facility in Switzerland like it was just another normal vacation destination you would see in a travel ad. Together, they turned the whole thing into a perfect example of how reality has gotten so confusing and layered that even a simple check-in call now feels like a bizarre subplot in a much bigger comedy disaster.
President Trump posted plans for his presidential library in Miami, which would be a massive golden skyscraper with a golden escalator and a golden statue of Trump, as predicted in the book of Revelations. President Trump attended the opening night of Chicago at the Kennedy Center, and I think that...
Alright guys, this was not just comedy, this was straight up choice, what started as a normal late night segment suddenly turned into one of the most swag political roast we have seen in a while. Like from the very beginning, the tone was already wild and talking about Iran threats and then randomly dropping scariest religious lines that alone grabs attention because it feels risky and unexpected. But then it gets crazier. You have got moments where Trump is impressing someone, but at the same time reminding everyone he fired people before. That kind of backhanded humor is super viral. People love awkward contradictions like that, and one of the funniest but weirdest parts, Melania randomly denying things nobody even accused her of. That creates intense curiosity. Viewers start thinking, wait, what is going on here? Then comes the dark side. They bring up serious topics like Epstein, but flip it into comedy by highlighting a contradiction. That mix of serious plus funny is exactly what keeps people watching, and the whole video keeps escalating. Phone calls, random decisions, wire conversations. It feels less like a script and more like controlled shows. That's why it works so well. It feels unpredictable, and at the ending, even something simple like a turkey pardon turns into a dark